Let's bring in retired Vice Admiral Mark Fox, former Commander of U.S. Naval Central Command. Admiral, always good to have you with us. Thank you very much for joining me again. What do you think of this strategy to reimpose the blockade and obviously to try to continue to damage the infrastructure around the Strait of Hormuz from which some of these missile attacks are generating?
Well, I think it's long overdue. The president showed enormous amount of political patience and a willingness to try to come up with a way to avoid the conflict, but we're dealing with Iranians that will not, they are not good negotiators. They're not willing to negotiate in good faith. And so I'm not surprised at all that we're back into this, into a blockade and into kinetic combat operations.
The foreign minister of Iran, Araghchi, who's been involved in these negotiations, responded to President Trump saying that the United States will, quote, be the guardian of the strait. And he said this: President is absolutely right. Whoever provides secure and safe passage for commercial vessels in the Strait of Hormuz should be compensated for this service. Iran has always been the guardian of the strait and will remain so forever, all caps. 20%, of course, is too much. We will be fair. That 20% reference to President Trump talking about how the United States might govern the strait. Your thoughts on that back and forth, Admiral?
Well, freedom of navigation is a fundamental tenet of the modern world and the global economy. You don't see Spain or Morocco charging people to go through the Strait of Gibraltar. You don't see Italy charging people to go through the Strait of Sicily, between Sicily and the Italian boot. You could just keep going on around the world. And so this is something that is absolutely a fundamental tenet of the global economy. Free movement of goods and services without people trying to impose their values or to profit from the geography that happens to be international waters. So it's important that this is a fundamental requirement that we need to address.
So I want to get your thoughts on the Gulf states, because it seems at several junctures in this, you know, the ceasefire was in existence, then it was broken, now going back in terms of the blockade, I should say. The Gulf states seem to have gotten very uncomfortable with what's happening, with attacks in their countries. What should change, or what could change militarily to better protect them and to galvanize us as a team with Israel and with the Gulf states to cow Iran?
Well, Iran, as a malevolent and a bad actor in the region, is the one thing that will unite and align all freedom-loving people and all the people of the region. In my opinion, all of the money that has been frozen of the Iranian monies that have been seized and held should first be paying for the damage that they're causing their neighbors. There should not be a nickel. There shouldn't be any compensation to Iran whatsoever until all of the damage that they have caused their neighbors. They are trying to double down in terms of threatening their neighbors in the region, and also trying to drive a wedge between us, the United States, and the regional partners and friends that we have in that area.
What do you think is emboldening Iran, given the damage that they've sustained? Do they have a lifeline coming from somewhere?
No, they are, you know, they are irrational by Western standards. They do things that we completely and totally don't understand. And so when we think they should be thinking this way, that's not it at all. The only thing that they respect is overwhelming power and strength. And that's the place that we should be negotiating from. You don't go in and say, okay, it was our initiative to have a ceasefire, and then it was our initiative to have some sort of a negotiation. That, to them, signaled weakness and indecision. We've got to be really decisive and very, very clear about how we're going to deal with this.
Well, it's pretty clear that what has happened at the negotiation table is not translating over to the IRGC folks. They have a very different idea of where this whole thing is headed, and we head back to the blockade tomorrow. Admiral Fox, thank you very much. Always good to see you, sir.